Hello and welcome to Friday's masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and this is the video every week where either Mark or I attempt the Times crossword for you live, and we try and talk through the sort of principles involved in how to solve it. So today's puzzle, thankfully, is not quite as difficult as last week's. Last week's, which was by John Henderson, who goes under the pseudonym Enigmatist often when setting crosswords, was perhaps the hardest in a decade. And today's, I think the snitch rating says it's the hardest of the week, but it's not much harder than that. So yeah, Matthew Marcus there, Verlaine, former winner of the Times Crossword Championship, 5 minutes 39. That's quite interesting. 5 minutes 39, and then the second best real time I'm recognising there is, well, I'm suspecting King Hedger is real. That's a very slow typing time. Otherwise, 11 minutes. Misty Chris is an excellent solver. 13 minutes. So it clearly has got a bit of bite to it. But this is what we're going to attempt to do. But before I kick off today, I have actually got some news to share with you. Variety of things I wanted to mention. I'll start off by saying that Mark and I are actually going to be doing a live edition of one of these masterclasses at a conference in Oxford. I hope you can see that on the screen. I've just seen this. It's sold out already. I'm not sure if that can be right, because it definitely wasn't sold out a couple of days ago, and maybe they'll create more tickets or something. But it's at Magdalen College on March the 21st. And as I say, Mark and I are going to be working through a puzzle there, doing exactly this. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be sold out because people like Susie Dent and John Finnemore, Alan Connor are speaking. But anyway, we are going to be there. I will put a link to this in case more tickets become available. And yeah, I'll be going to the other place. I was at university at Cambridge. Those years ago. I mustn't be rude. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention is we had an absolutely lovely email from Reese about his brother Andrew. Now, they're twin brothers, and Reese was explaining how they've been puzzlers their whole lives. And then I think during COVID, Andrew was at Princeton, I want to say, and got involved in crosswords a bit. And it's resulted in these mini meta puzzles that are published daily in the Washington Post. And with Pete Muller, Andrew's just had a book of these published. And I had a go at one of them because you know on Amazon you can sort of click on these things. Well, on one of these pages there was something I could click on that allowed me to solve one of them. So I did it, and it was great. So I fully recommend that to you. Yeah, you might enjoy it. I'll try and remember to put a link to that under it. But anyway, Reese, thank you very much for your email. I found it great, and good luck with the book sales, Andrew. Next, I'll do a birthday as well today. Will has turned 21. That's an important birthday, and apparently these are Will's favourite videos of ours each week. And to the extent that solving crosswords has become a hobby for Will, and he can now solve the quick cryptic, which is no mean feat, actually. If you've just been learning from the videos, well done, Will. I hope you have a great birthday today with chocolate cake. And then finally, something directly related to today's crosswords. You should all do the Times Concise puzzle every day. It's just great fun. It shouldn't take you too long. It's a quick crossword, so it should appeal to everybody. You don't have to have any cryptic skills at all. But one of the reasons I think you would enjoy them is because they all involve something called a Nina, which is named after the caricaturist, the American caricaturist Al Hirschfeld, who used to write the name of his daughter Nina in his pictures. And I thought actually I would, in order to demonstrate that, I snipped one of his pictures. Here you go. Here is a picture by Al Hirschfeld. And if you look at this, first you can see there's his signature at the bottom, and it's got the number 3 next to it. Now that means that Al hit 3 three Ninas in this. And if you look at the hair, I don't know who this gentleman is, but if you look at the hair, you can see there's Nina written here, Nina written a bit further around the hair, and Nina written here as well. I mean, I just think it's so clever. This is the sort of thing that just appeals to my brain, because I have no concept of how, I'm not very good at drawing. So that someone can do that and it not immediately, when you look at that picture, you don't see the Ninas, do you? Because it looks so natural. It's just really clever to me. Anyway, that is where the crossword Nina came from. And I thought, so this is a spoiler now. I've already done today's times concise, but I'm going to show you the solution, and you'll see what the Nina is very quickly, and it might tempt you into having a go at these puzzles. So let's have a look. Right, so this is the puzzle. Let's look at the clues, and so region, zone, that's area, etc. But if you look down the left of the grid, all of the answers that sort of hit the left-hand border begin with A. All of the words that start at the top begin with B. All of the ones that end on the right end in C, and all the ones that end at the bottom end in D. Isn't that absolutely lovely? And that was done without needing any great, leaps of vocabulary in the grid. So I just thought that was a lovely example of why everybody should do the concise crossword. Anyway, it's a long introduction today. I apologise for that. I'm sorry if it bores any of you. But we can now turn our attention to doing some solving together. So, have I got my dictionary? Oh, I have. And it's in the right place. That is a remarkable feat of serendipity. Anyway, let's have a look at the Times crossword. Here we go. And pregnant pause. Is the internet going to work? Is it in the right place? It all looks good. So, one across. Gentleman recalled. Favourite. Cover of taboo Italian folk song. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to know this word, but the first word that pops into my head here, well, word, if you can call it that, arrangement of letters that might be a word, is rispetto. And I'm doing that entirely from the wordplay. So let's go through some principles. I do this every week, but it's important. If this is the first one of these editions you're watching and you don't know how to solve cryptic crossword clues, it's important you know things. First thing to know, in all of these clues, they work exactly like a quick crossword clue. There will be a quick crossword clue in all of these clues. And it's almost always at the start or the end of the clue. So let's just take a 2 down. Little devil or exemption from punishment is likely to be the straightforward definition for an 8-letter word. So if you know nothing else, you might be able to solve some of these puzzles by just looking at the first word or first couple of words and the last couple of words and trying to think of synonyms. It might take a long time, but you might be able to solve it. The rest of the clue works a bit like a mathematical equation, so it's wordplay that leads to that answer. So hints that things are wordplay are going to be words that indicate things have to change position in some way or be put inside other words. So let's read this. A gentleman recalled. Well, recalled here is almost certainly being used to indicate a reversal. If you recall something, you sort of reverse it. So I think we might be looking for a short synonym for a gentleman, and we're going to reverse it. We're going to follow that with a short synonym for favourite. Now, there is one very common short synonym that comes up all the time, and that is the word pet. If you're a favourite, you're a pet. Cover of taboo. Well, if we think about that in a cryptic way, the covering for the word, it's sort of, it's coating. Its first and last letters would be the coat of the word. These are the things that cryptic crossword writers like to do. Now, if all of that is true, this almost certainly ends petto. And then my thought was, maybe a gentleman is a sir. That's the bit of it I'm unsure about. I don't know the Italian. I just don't know what the word is for an Italian folk song. But the great thing about cryptic crossword clues is that you get 2 chances because you get the wordplay as well. So if this does begin with I, rispetto, I think, is probably going to be right. If it doesn't, we'll have to think again. Let's go to it. 2 down. Little devil. Okay, let's stop there. Do we know any short synonyms for little devils? And there is one that comes up a lot. The word is 3 letters, imp. So that's quite good for rispetto, actually, isn't it? So let's put imp in. Where's my keyboard? My keyboard is so old now that the letters on the right-hand side have sort of worn off. So when I look at them, I can't really see what they are. 2 down. So imp, 1 obtaining exemption from punishment. 1 obtaining. An obtainer is somebody who gets something. Obtaining, or an owner, imponer. Exemption from punishment, impunity. Oh no, okay, that's lovely. Okay, so I thought it was going to be a 5-letter word for one obtaining something, like a buyer would be the most. But no, it's not. We just need a 5-letter word which means one. Well, if you're one with something, you're in a state of unity with it. And impunity, obviously, is, if you have impunity, you have an exemption from punishment. So now, well, this is still a worry. If I was in a competition, I wouldn't spend too much time on this, and I would write in rispetto. But given I have got a couple more, let's just think. 3-letter words for gentleman. A gentleman is a sort of a knight, or I like sir. I do like sir. I don't know the word rispetto. What we'll do is we will check. I'm not going to change it. So I will get it wrong. And this will be an early fail if rispetto is wrong. Oh, it is right. Good. Rispetto. A type of Italian folk song with 8-line stanzas, or a piece of music written in the same style. So, you know, I've been doing these crosswords for years and years, decades, and never heard that word before, but we've learnt something new today, or I have at least. Right, let's try 3 down. Freshwater fish, beginning with P. Pike, perch. Edges either side of river, birds. Okay, I don't know what this is yet, but I suspect, using the principles that we've already employed, that make a decision actually before I say this. What do you think the definition is in this puzzle? What is the quick crossword in this clue? What's the quick crossword clue? I'm going to say I think it's the word birds. And the reason I think it's more likely to be birds than freshwater fish is this word edges in the clue. Because if a freshwater fish edges something, it suggests to me it's on the edges of it, it's surrounding it. So that's more likely to be part of the wordplay. So perch or pike or something is going to be around the edges of either side of river. Well, the side of the word river, both sides of it, are the letter R. So I'm wondering if this has double R in it. And it's going to be birds. And why can't I think of a bird with an R in it that would fit? And it is... Oh. I keep thinking partridge. Stop thinking about partridge. Dan! No, don't. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Let's do 4 down. Did appropriate. Introductions to Treasury. Obtain approval. Okay. So again, let's try and think about it together. Make a decision now. What do you think the clue? Which side of the clue, or what word do you think the straightforward definition is here? Now this is a trickier one if you're not used to this, but the answer is did appropriate. It's a bit tricky. How do I know that? Well, again, I'm looking for hints of wordplay, and introductions to Treasury obtain is interesting, because a word does have an introduction. It would be its initial letter. So an introduction to treasury, T, well, that looks like the T in the clue. Obtain, O. If you give somebody approval, you okay it. That gives the word took. And if you did appropriate something, you took it from somebody, didn't you? So you can see how just a little bit of practice, you can start to build up the right ideas. Let's try 5 down. Okay, we might as well keep doing this thing. Hostile verbal animosity when it's usually calm. Okay, I haven't got this one yet. Hostile verbal animosity when it's usually calm. Okay, I don't know this time what the definition is, but if I was guessing, I would say it's when it's usually calm. And I'm thinking of like off-season or something like that. Hostile. If you're hostile to something, you are verbal. Oh, I'm not sure. Verbal animosity. I just haven't got a clue what that one's talking about. Let's have a look at 10 across. Kindle hits back. Books ending no longer available. Okay, let's stop here. If you're reading this clue and your mind has gone to your iPad or your Kindle and you're thinking about reading apps and stuff, don't think about that. The images that the clue writer will try to infuse your mind with are almost certainly going to be unhelpful. You have to think of these clues very literally. So ignore the apparent meanings of the words in a sort of sentence way. Try not to read them as sentences that provoke images. Try to read them as instructions. So let's try and do that. Again, let's try and work out what we think the definition is. Kindle hits back. Books ending no longer available. Okay, again, I'm not sure what the definition is, but if I was betting, I would guess on the word Kindle. Why do I think Kindle? Because I quite like this phrase, hits back. That suggests to me I need a word for hits, and I'm going to turn it round. So I'm thinking here, well, slaps is what came to mind, but I don't like that. Bops or something. And that would give me SP at the start of this. Books ending no longer available. Books ending no longer available. Oh, no longer available. If something's no longer available, it's off. It's off the menu. Books ending could be K. Kindle spark off. There we go. Okay, so, and that's wraps, obviously. Wraps for hits at the start. So we sort of backed into that. We weren't. I was clearly not sure at all about various bits of it, but by sort of piecing it together, we could work it out. Now that looks like it's off, so it is something like off-season. Let's see if we can get 9 across with an F there. Fish move with difficulty. So again, let's play the game. What do we think the definition is? I'm not sure this time. I think it's fish, but I'm not sure. Oh, flounder maybe. Yeah, okay, so this is a double definition. So if we cut the clue after the word fish, we need a word that means fish, and we need a word which means move with difficulty. And if you flounder, you move with difficulty, and flounder is some sort of fish, isn't it? I'm not changing the answer. Oh, so let's have a look at flounder. Let's see what type of fish it is. Is it a flatfish? It is a flatfish. Oh, it's got some very complicated names as well. But anyway, there we go. Flounder is correct. Have a look. Make use of your checking letters. This Y is probably where we should go. But let's have a look at 7 down. I'm thinking Adam's Ale, just so that we think... no, it's not Adam's Ale, is it? Adam's Ale being water. Fish eating seaweed. That's hypothetically perfect. Okay, I mean, again, let's do the exercise. What's the definition? I think this is a phrase that means something that's hypothetically perfect. And the reason, again, is that fish eating seaweed, I'm not thinking of a fish munching away on seaweed. I'm thinking of a word for a fish, or a type of fish, eating as in encompassing, surrounding a word for seaweed. Now, seaweed is short synonyms kelp and alga. Ideal gas or something, isn't it? Is it ideal gas? That's a thing in chemistry or something, physics. Ideal gas, that's got alga in it. Ides, yeah, ides are fish. They're some weird fish. I think they might be able to be spelt without the E as well. So ideal gas is definitely right. Now there's so many elements of this that I don't, I can't talk to, but let's have a look. So an ide, it is and there we go, id. So it can appear without the E, a fish. Same family as the carp. Right, let's look up alga, seaweed. Okay, so having that knowledge, having that short synonym sort of banked in your brain for types of seaweed, I mean, that's the only way you could really solve this, unless you know a lot about ideal gases, whatever they are. Ideal gas chemistry, a hypothetical gas which obeys physical laws under all conditions. Don't all gases obey physical laws? I don't know. Anyway, that seems really strange. But anyway, ideal gas is clearly correct. Let's try 15 across then. Okay. I haven't read the whole clue yet, but I've read the start of it. I got picked up. What does that make you think? Are you thinking about somebody picking you up for a date, or a taxi arriving to take you somewhere? No. Do not think that. That is not helpful. That is reading this sentence as if it had a meaning. It doesn't have any meaning like that. If something is picked up, if you pick something up, what do you do? Apart from in a physical sense, you sense it, you hear it, don't you? And this is a trick that cryptic crossword writers use all the time. They love homophones, words that sound like other words but are spelt differently. So, if I hear the word I, as in me, does it sound like anything else that might have a Y with its second letter? Yes, it sounds like that word. So I would be astonished if this answer doesn't begin with the word I. Now, if it does, we know the other side of the clue is going to be the definition. It must be eyesore, isn't it? Not a pretty sight. Yeah, I got... Yeah, okay, so actually it's a bit more subtle. I got, think of the phrase I saw. I, space, S-A-W. I saw a tower. That would be, oh no, well, got and see, or to go and to see, I think are synonymous. So I got could be I saw. You hear it and spell it differently, it would be eyesore, not a pretty sight. So very nice clue, but again, a little bit of experience and ignoring the meaning of the clue, or the apparent meaning of it, very useful. Now, that was the fish one, wasn't it? Freshwater fish, the bird. Oh no, the bird. I needed a bird that goes in here. Don't know, my brain keeps going to sparrow. What's that one? Fruit. Do we know? Okay, I do know a fruit that would fit this pattern. Blank G blank blank. The fruit is the ugly. U-G-L-I. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be one of those Italian regions which I'm now going to get wrong. It's something like Puglia or something, isn't it? But yeah, okay, I'm thinking about if you peel a word. So you might read the clue, fruit from Italian region peeled. And you're thinking about peeling a fruit. No. Think of a word for an Italian region and peel the word. Take its skin off. Take its first and last letter off. So if there is a region called it's going to be something like puglia. I'm afraid I'm not confident enough to be certain that's correct. I'm just trying to think if I think of a different first letter there and it feels right, or I think I've heard of it all of a sudden. No, but I think it's something like that, and then we remove the skin of that word, we get the fruit, which is the ugly. If you don't believe me that ugly is a fruit, let's go and have a look at that. A citrus fruit, a cross between a grapefruit, a Seville orange, and a tangerine. So that's what that is. Now look, from eyesore we got 2 starting letters, so we should look at those. So 8 letters for 15 down. They get free. Case of Suave, is that how you say that? It's the name of a wine, isn't it? Case of Suave over and above pickled cooking ingredients. Okay, I can do this, yeah. So, the key to this again is to completely ignore what is apparently, this clue is telling you a story about somebody doing some cooking with some wine and some gherkins or something. That is not what's going on. Actually, the way I read the clue initially was helpful. I said, so try and think, decide in your mind, what do you think the definition is? Do you think it's cooking ingredients? That wouldn't be a bad guess here, but it's not. It's they get free. So let's stop there. Do you know any 8-letter words that might be defining they get free? People who get free, what are they doing? They are escaping, aren't they? So is this something? Escapees or escapers, something like that. Now if I told you the answer was escapers, can you see why? So we're cutting the clue. They get free. Case of Suave. What is that saying? That's saying take the casing, take the coating of the word. So the S and the E. And then they are over. Now this is a down clue. So if you turn something over, if we turn the S and the E over, they become ES. And then pickled cooking ingredients are capers. So we get escapers and they get free. They are escapers. And we get all these starting letters now. So this should be helpful. 21. Cross times pursues copper, stifling resistance. Okay, again, what do you think is the definition? Sometimes it can help. I mean, the key here, there's 2 keys to this one. One is the word stifling. If something stifles something, what does it do? It sort of smothers it, doesn't it? It surrounds it and squeezes it. So that sounds like a bit of wordplay. And if we know Ohm's law, we know that resistance has a common abbreviation, which is just R, V equals IR. So again, a familiarity with common abbreviations is so important. And remember, abbreviations have to be supported by the dictionary. So it's not good enough to go to this clue, managed US pop goddess, old hand in Mexico, and say, well, managed begins with M, so it could be the letter M. No, it can't, because if you look under M in the dictionary, you will not find managed. But if you look under R in the dictionary, you will find resistance. Well, you should find it. Oh, where is it? Hang on. Did I miss it? Oh, electrical resistance. Okay, there it is. So, where was the clue? So, given that, we're probably looking at the other side of the clue for the definition, which is going to be the word cross. So, another thing, if you see any chemical elements, you have to be familiar with all of the common abbreviations in the periodic table. I mean, copper being Cu should be very natural. So, copper stifling resistance is very clearly, I think, saying Cu surrounds an R. Times pursues that. Well, if you times something, if you times a number by another number, you put X, wouldn't you? And that gives the word crux, and a crux is a cross. So that's not too difficult once we know the principles we're trying to apply. Let's try 16 down. Surviving extremely unusual punches, jubilant in victory. Hang on a minute. Okay, yes, I've got this one. I thought I had anyway. Yes, I have got it. Okay, I wasn't quite sure of the ending. I now am. Okay. A good one, this one, to try and decide what you think the definition is. It's not easy, this. Surviving extremely unusual punches, jubilant in victory. And if you're saying, oh, jubilant in victory, that suggests if I can think of a word for jubilant and put it in a word for victory, or an abbreviation for victory, that is a brilliant thought. And you should take some pride in having that, especially if you think victory in cryptic crosswords can often be VE, victory in Europe. But it's not right here. The tricky part of this one is punches. So the way this works is that we have to think of a word that means surviving, and then if we the word unusual, if we take the extreme letters in that word, because we have to treat that word extremely, the extreme letters of the word unusual are U and L, and they punch. The U and the L punch, so they go inside the 6-letter word for surviving, to give us an 8-letter word which means jubilant in victory. Now we've just noted that that's going to have U and L in it, which is almost certainly here. Jubilant in victory, exultant is what we're looking for. And if something is extant, it is living, it still exists, it is surviving. So that's tricky. That's tricky. It's a very well worded clue. It's just yeah, if you read it correctly, it becomes much easier to solve. Right, let's try 23 across. Plants in pretty urn, lilacs at regular intervals. Okay, I don't know what this is yet, but I'm very confident I know which side of the clue is the definition. And if you've been watching these videos for a while, you probably will do too. If you haven't, make a decision. I'm going to tell you now, it's almost certainly the word plants. And that's because this phrase, at regular intervals, always means take the regularly occurring letters from a word or a string. What does that mean? Well, it'll mean take the odd-numbered letters or the even-numbered letters, probably in lilacs, but maybe in urn as well. So if we look at lilacs, for example, and just take if we take the odd-numbered letters, we get LLC. Well, there's no words that end LLC, so we probably need the other ones, which are IAS. Okay, well that does sound, doesn't it? That sounds like it might be the ending of a plant. Now, this is going to show my ignorance again. Petunias. Good, that's right. Okay, so we did need the word urn as well. So if we take the phrase urn lilacs and we take the odd now letters, we get UNIAS. Oh no, actually it's the whole thing. I was thinking pretty and pet were actually synonymous, but they're not. To look at the word pretty as well. So actually we've got to go all the way to the start of pretty urn lilacs and take the regularly occurring letters. That's very hard to do. That's a very skillful setting. To take 3 quite long words and find as a constructor that if you take the odd numbered letters, it spells out a word as long as petunias. You try it. That is really hard to do. So plants, obviously petunias. That's going to be correct. So let's look at 26 across. Okay, well let's stop there. Managed. Look at the start of this clue. Can we think of any 3-letter words that mean managed? That are blank N? Yeah. If you managed something, you ran it, didn't you? So almost certainly the other side of the clue is going to be the definition. So hand in Mexico, or old hand in Mexico. I think I know this one then. It's going to be a reference to a living person coming up, which used to be banned in the Times crossword, but it's now allowed. It's been allowable for about a year, I want to say. We need a 4-letter pop goddess, And then O is a valid abbreviation for old. So it ends in O. The pop goddess is Cher, and we get ranchero, which is somebody who works on a ranch, so a hand in Mexico. Hand as in a worker. Right, let's try that one. 20 down. Somebody quiet, bores, intolerant individual. Okay, so I think this one is going to be playing on the word bores. So you might read this and think, oh, it's somebody boring somebody, making them yawn. No. If one word bores into another, it goes inside it, doesn't it? So bore here is almost certainly indicating that we need to put something in something else. So somebody quiet. Thinking a mouse or some. Okay, if you say quiet to somebody, you would shush them, wouldn't you? Shh. So is that? So quiet bores an intolerant individual. So if there's a 5-letter word for an intolerant individual, and it all means somebody, like a big shot. A bigot. That's beautiful. That's a really good clue. So a bigot is an intolerant individual, and that has quiet inside it, and that gives us big shot. And so the definition is literally the word somebody, because if you're somebody, you're a big shot. Okay, let's try 25. What may help to keep beehive upright? Okay, so again, this one I suspect is a slightly different type of clue, and this is indicated by the question mark at the end. Question marks have a few different meanings in cryptic clues, but one of the common meanings of a question mark at the end of the clue is that the whole clue needs to be read as a cryptic definition. What do I mean by a cryptic definition? Well, if we read this clue on the face of it, it seems to be referring to some sort of beekeeping activity, and we need a word for something that would keep the beehive upright. But a beehive has a different meaning, doesn't it? A beehive is a type, I think it's a type of hairstyle. I think it's like a woman's hairstyle when it looks a bit like a beehive. So what might help to keep that sort of beehive upright is going to be some. This is where I'm going to be totally useless. A hair something is what I think. A hair stick. I don't know what it is. I've never assembled a beehive. My hair is not quite ready for that. A hair. A hair clip. Could it be a hair clip? That seems a bit underwhelming to keep a whole beehive upright. It might be hair clip. I don't know. Let's try 24. Top level racing judge, one in a state. Ooh. Wow. I don't know. I haven't got a clue what this is. One in a state doesn't, to me, make me think of somebody, who's tearful or having a tantrum. It makes me think of somebody who lives in an American state or an Indian state. So Goan, for example, Goan, might be somebody in a state. But top level, A1, racing judge. Is there a racing judge? Top level racing? Formula One? Oh, Fiji. Oh, that's quite difficult. Not sure I like that really very much. Okay, okay, top level racing. Yes, I suppose I think the idea of Formula One, there are other formulas, aren't there, like Formula 3 and things, which I think are less powerful cars. So maybe the highest pinnacle of car racing is Formula One, which has the abbreviation F1. Judge can be abbreviated to J. 1, again, Roman numeral for the number 1, if you like. And then that all gives us the name of a state. Well, Fiji is a country, so a state is what we must be after. Fiji is actually a place I have been to. I went round the world as a student, and during that trip went to Fiji, which was a fascinating place. I used to think I could surf quite well at that point, and there was this famous beach break in Fiji, and so I thought I'm going to go there and do some great surfing. And this place was not easy to get to. I sort of had to get a local bus or two and then do a massive walk through dunes, and in the end ended up at this place and sort of walked over the dune to find the beach. And when I say that the waves on this beach were the size of houses, I am not joking. They were enormous. Now, when I say I could do a bit of surfing, I'd done a bit of surfing in Cornwall. I could do a bit, there was no way I was going in the water. So it was a bit of a wasted trip, but but I still remember it. One of life's failures. Anyway, I digress. Let's go. 27 across. Over 60s righted a wrong. Over 60s righted a wrong. I nearly got this, I think. I still haven't got it, but I'm pretty sure I understand it. So again, try and make a decision. What side of the clue do you think is the definition here? It's not maybe that easy to tell, but I'd be very surprised if it wasn't the phrase over 60s. Now, I'm not quite sure I've understood in what sense it means over 60s yet. But the way I read the phrase righted a wrong is not in the sense of somebody who rights a wrong, somebody who atones. I think of it literally. Let's take the letters righted a and wrong them. Let's anagram them. That's how I read that. So if we anagram righted a, is it third something? We're going to get third age. Okay, that's probably right, isn't it? The third age of man. Maybe that's what you are when you're over 60 or in the third age. I'm not changing that. I can't believe it's wrong. So let's have a look at what third age is. Those people aged over 60s, in some case over 50, collectively seen as a distinct group within society, with opportunities, e.g. for travel and education, special needs, and a positive contribution to make to society in general. Well, there you go. So is there a fourth age? What's that? No. No, apparently third age is as high as it goes. Right, where should we go next? Well, I'm trying to look for checking letters that look interesting. I mean, it looks like that ends in ing, doesn't it? Maybe we'll look at this. 19 down. Pathetic, ragged child got back clothes after having run away. Okay, so what do we think the definition is here? I think it's going to be the word pathetic. And the reason I think that is if I look at the other side of the clue, after having run away, to me, I know that R is a valid abbreviation for the word run, and that's from cricket scoring. So after having run away, to me, is suggesting remove R from something. I haven't worked out what yet. But if that's true, the other side of the clue must be the definition. So pathetic or pathetic ragged child, waifling or something. Ooh, it could be pathetic ragged child. Ragged child. Ragged child could be an anagram. It's just that child doesn't look like it's got very friendly letters for an anagram. Got back clothes. Garb. Okay, so a synonym for the word clothes is garb, as in what you're wearing. And garb has an R in it. So if we remove that and turn it round because it's back clothes, we would get bag. So maybe... Oh no, that doesn't look very good with my hair clip idea, does it? What may help to keep beehive upright? I'm really surprised by that, actually. I like the idea of garb for clothes. Pathetic, ragged child. Not sure. Let's try... No, I'm trying not to sneeze. Let's try not to sneeze first. 11. Data visualization. Mine involving exceptional reach. Alright, well, let's try and come... I have actually got this. I don't quite know how, but my brain has been kind to me. What I was going to say is let's try and decide which side of the clue is the definition. And I think this is quite difficult to get this one. But the phrase involving exceptional reach, if we think about that in a cryptic way, what could that mean? Well, I think the idea here is we need to think of a word for a mine, and that needs to involve, so it includes within it, exceptional reach. Well, if you treat the letters of the word reach in an exceptional way, you might anagram them. So we need a 3-letter word then for a mine to involve the 5-letter anagram of reach, all to give us a phrase that means data visualization. And I think that what we're looking for then is a pie chart. You can see that that's got pit for mine around an anagram of reach. Now, what was this one? When it's off peak. Hostile. If you have a fit of pique, you have that's verbal animosity, isn't it? I think if you're hostile to something, you're off it, and then verbal animosity is a pique, is in a fit of pique. And then when it's usually calm is off peak. So I suspect that's what's going on there. Let's have a look at 6 down. Complaint made by others about revised rota. Okay, so again, make a decision. What do you think? Which side of the clue is the definition? And I don't know the answer to this one, but the phrase about revised rota it's actually really good in the sense that it works exactly the way, sort of syntactically, as 11 across did, involving exceptional reach. So we needed a word, and then that involved an anagram of the word reach. Well, let's read this one again. About revised rota. So we need to put made by others. I don't know what that's going to be. But we need an anagram, I'm pretty sure, of the word rota in the middle of this. And it's going to all mean complaint. Now, complaint probably means illness. Made by others. Complaint, what is it going to be? And rota is going to have to appear here, isn't it? Oh, come on, Simon. I haven't got it, but I think I understand sort of roughly how it works. Let's see if we can get some letters. 8 across, 8 down, I should say. Tip from informer: stopping criminal that's out of line. Okay, so again, can we decide which side of the clue is the definition? And this one is I think this one's hard. Line can be abbreviated to L. So something that's out of line might mean we have to remove an L from something. But if we read the other side of the clue, tip from informer, that might be the tip of the word informer, which might be its last or its first letter. Stopping, well, if something stops something, it corks it in that sense. So it might be inside a word for criminal to give us a word that means out of line. So I don't know. Out of line. I think I prefer the second reading there. So tip from informer might be an R. Stopping a 7-letter word for a criminal, or to be criminal. to give an 8-letter word which means out of line. If something's out of line, it is... Oh, I don't know. My brain's not working. Let's try 17 across. Retreat in theory periodically affords virtue. Okay. Yeah, I've got this one, thank goodness. Right. Again, make the decision in your own mind. Are you confident you know which side of the clue is the definition here? The key to this is the phrase periodically, or the word periodically, which does exactly the same as at regular intervals. So if we treat the word theory periodically, we take the periodically, the regularly occurring letters. This time we're going to take the evenly occurring letters, which are H, O and Y. And it says retreat in H-O-Y effectively, doesn't it? So we need a 4-letter word for a retreat in H-O-Y, and that's going to afford us, it's going to give us a word which for a virtue. And a retreat, it's a slightly odd one this, but it's the first thing that came into my mind. Nest is a retreat. Put H-O-Y around it, we get honesty, and honesty is a virtue. So what is this then? Gratuity. Oh, it is gratuity, so I'm totally wrong. A tip is a gratuity. So I haven't understood this at all. From informer, rat. Oh, this is very clever. Goodness me. That is a beautiful clue. Tip from informer. So now I will allow myself, it's a rare occasion, to read the clue as a sentence. Tip from informer stopping criminal that's out of line. It reads as a natural sentence, doesn't it? It reads so well. And yet it's beautifully intricate. So we get an 8-letter word for a tip, gratuity, from an informer. A rat is an informer. Stopping, so inside. Criminal, if a criminal is guilty, and guilty is out of its L, it's out of the line. So we put rat in guilty without the L, we get gratuity. Very clever. And we get starting letters. So let's go to 18 down. Wiped out by joke. Penned by E.G. Top Journo. Top Journo, if you see that, it's almost always Ed, because the top journalist is the editor. In the land of cryptic crossword writers, they take care of editors, let me tell you. So I reckon this is going to end in Ed. So wiped out. A joke is a quip or a pun, penned by E.G. I want to put X in this. The reason for that is this word by in the clue. If you said what's 3 by 4, you would be saying what's 3 times 4. So by and X are synonymous, and I really like the idea of putting X here. So the way I'm reading the clue from a wordplay perspective, we need a word that means wiped out. And then we've got X for the word by, a short synonym, I think 3 letters for a joke, so pun or gag or something. Penned by E.G. and then Ed for our top journalist. So what is this then? If you're expunged, yeah, expunged means you wipe something out. So I was on the right lines, I just couldn't put it together. So let's try 19. Oh, this was our pathetic ragged child. Got back. Clothes. Oh, this was the one that might end in... Oh, hang on, what's my hair then? It's not a hair clip. Hair... Oh, this shows my... My ignorance of all things fashion is profound. What may help to keep beehive upright? A hair... I mean, it might just be something I don't... a hair... I mean, that's probably an I, isn't it? Oh no, unless that ends in bag. Oh, it can't be G blank B blank. I was thinking this probably ends in ing. So this is going to be a hair grid or something. There can't be a word hair grid. Hagrid. hair. Oh dear, I'm worried about this now. And if, okay, so what's this then? Pathetic, ragged child. It's going to be something like it's not right, it's a twitchling or something. It's going to be a phrase for a waif on the streets. Got back clothes. Got back. Could that be a reversal of the word got? Clothing, a word for after, which has lost its R, having run away. After. Pathetic, ragged child. I might need this one, I think. Oh, God, I mean, that's not the greatest start. Philosopher from Prussia. Okay, let's hope it doesn't require me to name any Prussian philosophers. Philosopher from Prussia upset. Okay, it's probably an anagram of Prussia. About a load of rubbish. Oh gosh, so what is this then? This is going to be a load of rubbish. Is that a tip or something? Philosopher. You'd think it was going to be an Ian at the end, like I don't know, a Socratean or something. Philosopher. What is it? Philosopher. Oh goodness, I don't know. This might be why this is probably an easy puzzle if you know the name of this philosopher. All right, let's try. Oh, is gendarme worried? That makes me think immediately of an anagram. If you worry the letters of something, you anagram them. As Vichy France may have been. As Vichy France may have been. So it probably ends ed, doesn't it? As Vichy France may have been. Oh, I can't do the anagram. It's appalling. I hate it when I can't do anagrams. Sometimes, this is a secret, sometimes if I'm on my own and I'm solving the puzzle and I can't do the anagram, I will resort to a pencil and I write the letters in a circle. But obviously, I don't really feel I can do that on camera. As Vichy France may have been. If this is gendarme. Oh dear. Okay, have we looked at this one? Oh no. Okay. Well, this must be doable. Grotesquely morph image copy. I mean, grotesquely is such a strange word, and you can I immediately am looking then. The moment I see grotesquely, I'm saying, can I construct an anagram? Because grotesque, if you treat letters grotesquely, it seems like an anagram indicator. And it's very, very suspicious that the next two words add up to 10 letters. So morph image. So we're looking for some sort of graph here, I think. Yeah, I mean, it must be graph at the end. So it means copy. Is it mimeograph or something? I think I've heard of a mimeograph. It's not a phrase I use very often. Mimeograph. The anagram fodder seems correct. And that would give us a G, which is, that works, doesn't it, in terms of our is gendarme anagram, as Vichy France may have been. Oh, Germanized. Goodness me. Okay, yeah. So a reference to what could have happened if the war had gone the other way. Germanized must mean to become German. Oh no. Oh, Aristophanes. I've heard of the croaking chorus of the frogs of Aristophanes. What's going on? Oh dear. What is this? Am I... Oh, I don't know. And I've got this silly one up here that I haven't got as well, which is my birds, isn't it? Freshwater fish. I mean, oh, perchers then. Oh, birds are perchers. I said perch. So freshwater fish, perches, the plural of perch, of course. Although, you know, if you just said how many perch did you catch today, I would have totally said that was fine. I wouldn't have said it had to be how many perches did you catch today. But apparently perches must be the plural of the fish, the perch. And then that goes around either side of the word river. Well, that's an R. Doesn't matter which side you take. And a percher, well, obviously birds do perch. So perches is correct. Now, oh my goodness. Now, my idea about revised rota is looking rather incorrect. No, sore throat would work. Oh, that's really odd. That does not have an anagram of rota in the middle of it. So sore throat must be right. That's got an anagram of rota at the end. So, oh no, hang on. Hang on, what's going on then? Made by others. Oh, I see. Goodness, that's very good. This is very clever and very unusual. So that our complaint, the sore throat, is made by others and about. About is being used here not to indicate you put something around something, but it's being used as an anagram indicator. Turn the letters of the word others about, anagram them, and then have a revised rota, so have an anagram of rota at the end. Put all that together, we get sore throat, and we've got 3 left, haven't we? We've got our hair thing that I don't know. We've got something like Aristophane or something. Philosopher. Is it somebody who is after Aristotle? Aristo. No, that must be tip. A load of rubbish is a tip. So we just have to find the anagram of Prussia, which is going around the outside, which is going to be something like this. What letters have I got left now? I've got P-U-S. That's not great. Aristippus? That can't be right. I'm so sorry. Aristippus? Can it be Aristippus? Aristippus. I've never heard of Aristippus. If it was Aristippus, what is this then? Pathetic, ragged child. Something like tough bag or something. Got back. Clothes. Ragged child. Pathetic. If something's pathetic, it invokes pathos. Is it touching? Why would it be? If something is touching, is it really pathetic if something is touching? And how does that word? Ragged child got back clothes. Oh my goodness, that is brilliant. Wow. That's very hard. but touching is correct. And that makes me think Aristippus is correct. Right, how does... This is brilliant, this 19 down. Okay, so our ragged child is an urchin, as in a street urchin. And we've got, imagine you've got the word urchin for ragged child. Got back clothes. That is saying turn the word got back, reverse it, and clothe your urchin with it. And that is the G-O-T here. And then after having run away is saying take the R out of the word urchin. And that would give you touching, and if something is pathetic, it's touching. And we've only got to get this one. Oh, hair grid was my thought about this one. Hair, what may help keep beehive upright? Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry that I don't... I mean, this is so poor that I don't know what this sort of piece of accoutrement is. C, D, E... K, L, hair gel, no, M, N, hair grip is what it is. I have heard of a hair grip, I've just never used one. So it's a brilliant puzzle actually, and I think the vocabulary necessary here is quite tricky. Let's look up mimeograph. I don't actually know what a mimeograph is. An apparatus on which handwritten or typescript sheets can be reproduced from a stencil. Okay. Yeah, so we've got mimeograph, rispetto. I mean, touching is vicious. It is vicious. Aristippus. Yeah, it's a proper crossword, isn't it? It's really good, actually. I really liked it. Submit without leaderboard. I certainly wasn't racing, thank goodness. And if Aristippus is wrong, then it's not wrong. Okay, so that's how to solve it. We did it. We did it together. Now, in order to show, hopefully, that I'm not a complete imbecile, I do like to race on the quick cryptic. So let me see if I can actually redeem myself slightly. Let's have a go at this. Grass from Western Wales. That is lawn. It's hidden. Cars outside. Newspaper boss. He's owed money. Creditor, I presume. I'm not sure about that actually. After returning, for example, broadcast artist, male in union, marriage? I'm not sure. It feels like marriage. Home sibling. Before time, make it a requirement. Insist. Plan to have she clued. Schedule. So that makes me think creditor is correct. Quick. Quit port. Left. The port is the left side. Newspaper article involving right bore. Tiring. Newspaper article. I don't know. Gangster's headgear. Mole? I'm not sure. Tirade? Trade. That's right. So it's not mole. Hood then. Boar. Don't know. Let's look at this one. Ursine, like bear. Don't think we'll bother. Going over that again. Unusually large tank penetrated by tip. Fast. That. Crude enemy slur finally ignored. Not in good taste. Don't know. Framework of education. Graduates note leading to publicity. No idea. Leverage maybe. Fooled about Romeo. Difficult to understand. Hard. They work together heading away from political meetings. They work together. Allies. Rallies without set a fouled area where people walk. Street, I suppose. It's an anagram. Graceful mover and worker run away. Lice. Antelope. We hear composers record item by item. I don't know. don't know at all. Right, dodge succeeded despite going wrong. That is, it begins with S. It's an anagram of despite. Dodge, sidestep is the answer. Fancy lagers extremely suitable as gifts, largesse. Symbol maybe in light-hearted email, yes, primarily. Symbol maybe in light-hearted email, yes, primarily. Oh, I don't know. Usher in the lady. Usher in. Herald. Gosh, should have got that quicker. Feature a swimming pool. Lane. Ultimately suss the way to appear. How? Show. Okay, so what's that one then? Crude. Not in good taste. It's unseemly, I suppose. I don't quite know if that's correct. Yeah, I think it is. It's an anagram. Framework of education. Graduate's note leading to publicity. Framework of education. Oh, graduate's Bachelor of Education or something. Bedstead? Wow, goodness me. Symbol maybe in light-hearted email, yes, primarily. Smiley, goodness. Okay, and then we hear list, and then one more, hopefully. Newspaper article involving right. Bore. Newspaper article. It's a piece, so Pierce is the answer. That, I didn't think that was very easy at all. 15th, not very good. But yeah, I didn't find that easy. So there's a couple of real times there. So Matthew Marcus pipping Mark, actually, with 2 minutes 25. That's phenomenally quick on that puzzle. And then little old me there in 15th. This first time is a typist. And yeah, oh well, I beat Andrew Fisher. Andrew Fisher's a brilliant solver, so I can't be unhappy with it. You know, he's much better than me, so I've been a bit lucky there. Tom Stubbs is a good solver, 6 minutes. So, yeah, not absolutely shocking. But anyway, that is the masterclass, if you can call it that. Thank you very much if you're still with me now. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the videos. If you do like them, please drop a like. Please subscribe. It tries to teach the algorithm that actually these videos do have a place in the world. The algorithm likes our Sudoku videos more. But I think for some people, the crossword videos are a bit of a highlight of what we produce each week. So if you can help us, we'd appreciate that. And we'll see you again later for another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.